Just want to do a quick update on the car. I recently, actually just yesterday, put the stock-ish Airbox back in. I have an old video showing that this Airbox actually has the bottom completely cut out. It did, it's probably going to be a little hard to capture. You can see right there, that circular indentation. I used a hole saw and cut a hole in the side for sound, but it's kind of hard to see, but I patched it with aluminum tape. A lot of layers of aluminum tape there, because honestly, now I have the Turbo Smart dual port valve, so I've got plenty of blow off valve noise now. Wanted to take advantage of the Velocitech that I installed, see if it makes a difference. See if there was any significant power difference between having the cone style intake with the engine SP tube and the AEM cone. And I'll show some V-dyno plots, but if anything, this is making just a little bit more torque and power. I mean, it's negligible, 1 to 2 horsepower, if that, and then maybe like 4 or 5 pound-feet of torque. So it's well within the noise as far as gains. So it's at the very least equal. I don't see any difference in any of the curves. So I'm also running the Ram Air foam filter in here. One of the big reasons why I did this, I took part of the intake out anyway because I was changing out the transmission fluid to Ravenol, if I'm saying that right, the MTF2. I had the Motul dual, I think it's the dual clutch transmission fluid in there. And there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't notice any real difference in how it feels between the two. I just wanted to run the full synthetic, and the Motul's kind of a blend. So in that process, I decided to put the modified Airbox back in, and it's been raining here. So when I popped the hood, I noticed I had a ton of water kind of built up around the headlight area, and there was water on the induction pipe and on the filter. So I didn't really like that. I don't think it'd be a huge issue, but I figured it was a good opportunity to kind of test out the modified box versus just the cone filter. And that literally is what the difference was, because all the induction piping was the same. We upgraded the Ram Air crossover and the Whoosh silicon induction pipe. So I'll bring up some V-dyno plots. So we have V-dyno up. The red curve is the modified stock box. Blue curve is the engine pipe with the AEM cone filter. And these are both running my Dizzy E30 tune. You see the horsepower peak was identical, and the torque is 4 pound-feet difference, so not a whole lot. You can see the curve is just slightly different, and that could have just been, I was a little off when I came in at 2,500 RPM because they get near identical later on. A little bit of difference in the fueling, but all this I would say was within the noise. So honestly, I don't really see a huge difference. The temperatures were real close, probably within 4 degrees ambient. You can see I'm, versus a lot of posts, especially Dizzy's posting, Jason's posting for the horsepower and torque, I'm definitely showing under, but this is virtual dyno, and I'm also at 1,000 feet elevation. I think a lot of people getting a lot of this data are closer to sea level. It makes I think about a 3 to 4% difference right there, and we also are stuck with 91 octane here in Arizona. So the two of those are definitely bringing my numbers down. But again, this tool is just for comparison's sake more than trying to actually quantify your horsepower and torque. So for comparison's sake, it doesn't seem like there's really any significant difference between the cone filter and using the modified Airbox. I would venture to say that the stock Airbox is probably the same, and there's probably a very mild difference between the paper filter and the Ram Air filter. So anyway, for anyone that's looking to buy one of those, for the most part, they really are just there to get you a little bit extra noise. I did notice that my charge air temps were quite a bit lower with the stock box, which is to be expected. So it's one thing to keep in mind. You're probably going to get better air charges using a modified or stock box than an open air element filter.